calm. I thought.
I'm not gonna lie, fam. You look fresh out in this picture. You look fully fresh out.
You say ready for Christmas?
Me? What's that?
It's the time when you charge me wet shop. You man know Christmas.
I know about Kwanzaa, fam.
Oh wow.
Nah, I'm joking. I'm all about that Christmas life. I love Christmas.
Yeah, you know me more festive than this.
Who, me?
Dressed up with your hat and all sorts.
Oh, was you here? Oh, sugar. Shit.
I saw you got like the Christmas fitted cap.
I do. Shit,
Like,
bag.
every day.
Bruv, your memory is good. Your memory is good.
I've never seen no one with that thinking that.
Take the sideburns off.
Full of it. Like, you could only pull it off around here.
Yeah, no, I would never wear that in the ends.
Be like, Mama, they took that off before 12 o'clock.
I wouldn't wear that in the ends, bruv. No way. So he started shaping me up and he's like, brother, I'm not gonna lie to you, yeah. True, I like you, innit? My name's like, who cut your hair, fam? I was like, you know, when I heard that, I knew I fucked up, innit? So I was like, brother, my brother did it, innit? I threw my brother under the bus real quick. He's like, yeah, don't let him cut your hair again, bruv. You got hella patches all over your head. But yeah, I was determined, man. Determined. I buy new clippers all the time because I love them. No, I don't. I buy new clippers because I love them, but everybody always looks at my clippers. Even my girl came in this morning. It's like, you got some new clippers, innit? People see this stuff. Method to my madness. I'm definitely mad though. Yeah, for Faith Fulham.
I just remembered tomorrow I'm going to be at training from 10 o'clock, so I won't be able to call.
Did you say run the sound?
Yeah.
Did you just say run the sound? You've been hanging around too many Jamaicans, bro. I said run the sound, man.
In the background. I said if you sell the NHS, then don't give me birthday beats. That's actually attempted murder. Oh man.
NHS is irrelevant anyway.
I said you coming home tonight. No, I've got to save up to call an ambulance.
Isn't it? It's like 2 racks to get in an ambulance in America, you know?
Yeah, I didn't even know that, man.
Yeah, fam. It's cheaper to get an Uber. But they put it there, little bastards.
Yeah, no, they fucked up the country, man. I read, I think 80% of the world's natural resources are in Africa and Asia.
Of course
Why
it
they're
is.
the 2 poorest continents.
Life was fun back then, that's all. I remember just being free. As a child, you kind of look at things like from like a fairy tale type of aspect. When you're younger, like I feel like ignorance is bliss. You don't actually know like what society has mapped for you. I always knew from a young age that I was always going to be a family man. Like that was my goal. I remember saying when I was in like year 4, I was like, I don't really care what job I have, you know, just as long as I'm able to provide for my family. Because I didn't have one. I didn't have a family growing up. My parents separated when I was 2. I saw my mum attempt to recreate the family, and then I saw my dad try to recreate a family, and both of them failed at that. So I saw what it was like to not have a family and like grow up without being in a family setting. So I was always determined that when I grew up, I knew that was my goal. I just wanted to have a family. I saw everybody else, like mainly the European kids, you know, both parents in the house, and they just always seemed happy. They never seemed like anything was ever wrong with them. Do you know what I mean?
I can't hear you.
I can hear you a little bit.
What?
Just having kids, like, it opened my eyes to the reality of life. When you still live at home with your parents, you still have like a comfort blanket, if you like, in which that life's not really, I don't know, it's not realistic. Your outlook on life is not realistic when you live at home with your mom, and if something fails, it's kind of like somebody else's responsibility or somebody else is gonna pick you up. When everything falls on your own lap, things definitely become a lot more real. Like, for example, if I fail to provide, if I don't feed my kids, for example, that's all on me. Like, nobody else comes later on and says, oh, you forgot to do this, I've done it for you. My relationship with the school system was cool because I felt like I understood it. Getting good grades, going to college, going to university, getting a good job. Is literally a formula that I had mapped out in my head, and that would have been success for me. A bit funny now because I feel like I'm a successful adult, but I've not done any of that.
Yeah, no, that's it. Science was like.
I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I needed to be somewhere.
Up until 16, I really believed I was successful. I was probably arrogant about it as well. Achieving good school grades, and not even great school grades, looking back at it now. And where I grew up, it's sad now, but like for me, that was like, I felt like a big achievement.
You know, we're getting this sound, though, you can tell you.
I got a rude awakening. Life was quite easy in school times.
Past the age of 16, I realised that I wasn't that successful when I started failing in college, and certain other aspects of life started approaching that, you know, I was exposed to.
This road here, was it? Nah, it wasn't the first time I hit someone. So him and the guy started fighting. I literally saw this fight in slow motion. I saw the first bang, bow. I was like, whoa, shit, maybe he'll fight back. I saw the second bang, bow. I was like, okay, he definitely needs to fight back now.
Yeah.
By the time he hit the guy, hit him third time, yeah, and his legs started to go. I was like, bro, he's not gonna hit him back. Like, someone has to jump in. Someone has to save him. I was like, alright, cool. I can't stand here and let that happen, because if I go back to school, it's almost gonna be like I punched him up. Because, do you know what I mean?
Having peers of a different race, it wasn't cool when I was growing up. So I had to have peers or people who looked like me.
I just saw it like either you were in this group or that group. There was no longer that family feel about it. It was like, you're either a black kid from the hood, you're a white kid with money, or you're a white kid without money, or other. Like, it felt like you had to check a box and you had to be part of it. Because I remember like starting secondary school, and I was cool with everybody. When it was almost like at one point, I remember the black kids were just kind of like, oh, but you hang around with white kids. And I was like, so what, do I have to make a choice? And I remember feeling like, oh shit, I actually have to make a choice here. It had me looking at myself like, maybe I'm not normal. Maybe I'm not doing the things that I'm supposed to do.
I made friends with people I should have never made friends with. Definitely against my mum's wise words, you know. She saw my peer group and tried to steer me away from them, but I don't know, it's hard growing up.
I definitely saw them going down a certain path by probably year 10. And it was a hard decision, but a conscious decision to separate myself from them at that time. Half of them didn't even complete year 11. Like, it's like my school literally did a big sweep and got rid of so many kids. I remember it was like, I think I could count it. I think it was like 30 black boys in my year at the beginning of year 7. And by the time we got to GCSEs, I think only 7 of us actually took our GCSEs because the school got rid of the rest of them. Most of them went to jail at some point. I definitely know a few of them has been shot. A few of them has been stabbed. I haven't seen any of them be a success, to be honest. I've probably done things that they have done. Just not for the periods of time. And probably not with as much recklessness. I feel like when you do something like with complacency, it doesn't really leave room for evaluating the consequences of your actions. Whereas I feel like I was very cautious when I stepped into certain worlds. I've seen a lot of stuff growing up. But what's sad is the stuff that I've seen, I don't think that they're uncommon. Like, they don't seem like weird things. Like, I've seen piles of drugs before. I've seen guns before. I've seen people being stabbed. I've seen people stab people. Like, it's not... When I grew up, it didn't seem like something abnormal. Whereas now, I would hate for my kids to believe that that's normal. Because it wasn't abnormal to me, those actions and those things that I did see, those weren't the things that made me change. Or those weren't the things that made me think about my life. Like, me seeing somebody get stabbed, wasn't like, oh, sugar, you've been stabbed, I need to reconsider what I'm doing. It was just normal. Oh, you've been stabbed, all right, cool, next week is going to be that one, and then the week after that is going to be that one, and it was just, that's just normal. I stayed clear of certain things because I had a good network at home, if I'm being honest with you. My brother didn't allow me to go to a certain level, like saw certain things and put a stop to them quickly, because it didn't come from that, oh, you're X amount of years older than me, you don't know what you're talking about, you're so far detached. Whereas my brother was fully attached, like it was only 2 years between us. So things that I was doing and seeing were things that he was doing and seeing, but was able to steer me in a better direction. I'm so far detached from the people of my past and even the area. Driving through certain places, it just feels foreign to me. It feels like I'm a visitor now. Real life aspirations are not something that really float through your head. Well, where I was growing up, I always knew that I needed to have enough money. I was scared of not having money. I don't know why. Probably still a fear that I have now, to be honest, that I'm never gonna have enough money. So when I was younger, the only thing I drove towards was money. Money drove me. If it made money, it made sense. I remember saying at one point in life, I don't really care what I do, as long as I can keep my morals, but it brings in a lot of money, I don't care. I'd be unhappy 8 hours of most of my life, like 5 days a week, doing whatever it took. I'd clean the streets if it brought in a certain amount of money. As long as it made money, that's what I was about. Had a few temporary jobs before I actually secured my first full-time job, and I saw a salary and I was like, oh, I thought, okay, I've sussed it. I failed college, but I'm on my way to success again because I can now climb this corporate ladder and become somebody. Didn't know who I wanted to be, but just become somebody. By the age of like 22, I was in stupid amounts of debt through chasing money. And I got into so much debt, I took out a credit card for, I think my first credit card was only like £2,000. It was like, yeah, cool. That's free £2,000. Then I took out a loan for a car, £6,000. And then I had a credit card given me to £8,500. I was in probably, I think at one point, £11,000 worth of debt at one point. I could have cried because I remember getting paid and all it did was clear my overdraft. I literally got paid, and I had a minus balance. Felt like I was working for nothing. There came a point when I was really like reflecting and looking at who I am as a person and what I wanted to achieve, and definitely sitting in an office wasn't a goal for me. I didn't feel like it gave my kids anything to drive towards. There's no ambition in that, and I definitely got down. I want to say depressed. I wasn't diagnosed clinically, but I definitely felt depressed, and I don't want to sound dramatic, but got suicidal at some points. I was like, this is not life. I'd rather just end it. And I literally came to probably rock bottom, as they would say, and quit my job. But where was I going to make my money? I wasn't sure. My original mindset was to do what everyone else did around me, sell drugs, which ultimately would like negate the whole reason why I was doing it in the first place. I'm doing it for a better life for my kids. Like, that world isn't going to bring a better life for my kids. The hours that requires, the risk that requires wasn't going to do my kids any justice. So thinking about, another job that I could do like at any given time, but that was going to give me cash as opposed to another PAYE job, I thought about barbering. I remember my barber at the time was only working weekends. He was a lecturer during the week. I was like, that's actually a handy idea. So I just bought a set of clippers and trimmers and sent a text out. I think I had a BlackBerry at the time. I sent a BlackBerry broadcast to everyone in my contacts. I was like, yep, I'm a barber now, £5 trims, come to my house or I come to you. And that's how it started.
It was like you had nothing to lose and everything to prove.
Exactly that. Exactly. I had nothing to lose and everything to prove. If it weren't for these gifted hands, then I don't even know where I'd be, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, being able to do what I'm able to do right now it just doesn't feel like this is something that I could have done. Like, if I put my mind to it, it literally just feels like a gift being given to me. The things that I've managed to accomplish in my job is just unspeakable. Like, I never thought that would have happened for me, especially like growing up where I grew up. Who would have thought that I would have met Will Smith? That's crazy. That was outlandish. That was never, do you know what I mean? Actually going to cut his hair and getting on the plane back from the south of France, that was when I was like, shit, I've made it. Barbering gave me power over my life, and it sounds so dramatic, but barbering actually allowed me to take ownership of my life without qualifications in, like, you know, some big like engineering course or whatever. I didn't feel like I had much control over my life. I felt like I was always going to be at the mercy of a corporation somewhere. It was almost like Goku, like getting Super Saiyan. Like, he realized his potential and then bow, he was a Super Saiyan. I've got control. Like, I work when I want to work. I work how I want to work. I work with who I want to work with. I feel like I do have a sense of responsibility to everybody that sits in my chair. It definitely does come across like a therapist type thing, but it's only because I recognize that the kids that went through what they went through weren't because of that's what they wanted to do. It's because they didn't have anybody around to say, you have options, or even present options to them.
I love my kids, man. That's lit. This is what we have kids for, you know? This is what we have kids for. Them small moments like that, man.
I didn't have much growing up. Like, asking my mum for stuff, like, it was hard asking her for anything, because I remember her, I remember the looks on my mum's face, like when I remember seeing the pain in her, like knowing that she couldn't provide things for me and my brother growing up. So I definitely want that for my kids now. I never want them to ask me for anything that I can't provide for them. If I can't get it today, I'll get it tomorrow. But I want them to just have whatever they want.
I probably still got a lot to learn, but I feel like I've got a handle on what life's about right now, to be honest. Yeah.
Is that it? You're done.
Thank you. Give me hands.